Okay, so in this video, we're going to go over how to complete the results for embedded. To give an overview, so every month we have, well, in total on the embedded contract, we've got around just under 200 sites that we do. Some of them we do monthly, some of them we do bi-monthly, and others we do quarterly. So, every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, and then we have the Royal Exhibition Building, which we do. It's scheduled, so for specific dates. So we won't deal with that here, but what we'll deal with is the big batch that we have at the start and end of the month. So on the left here, this is our schedule where we have, actually let me expand this. So we have all of these sites. This is our site list, and I'll try and break it down best I can. So let's see. So the way these are filtered is based on whether they're ready to be emailed off to the client, whether we have the data, so the reader has done the work and we've got the data in the system and it's ready to process. And then we have overdue, so anything that is past the schedule date. So for example, today is the 5th of January. So anything that is scheduled for before that I haven't marked off or haven't got the data for is in this list here. And it's also broken down by state, as you can see. So we've got a few in here. And then after that, we've got assigned. So that's anything that is after today, which is the 5th. So that hasn't been done yet, obviously, because we haven't been there. And then ordered is kind of the same, but it's more than a week. So what will happen is a week before this start date, Airtable will send out an automatic email to the reader or the supervisor who is responsible for getting the reads done, and then it will mark it as assigned in here. So for example, these haven't been done. These are scheduled for later on. So like the 13th of the 1st, for example, tomorrow being the 6th, Alan will get an email and this box will get checked off and it will move into assigned. So that's kind of how it's broken down. Anyway, the only important ones we really need to worry about, we don't need to worry about assigned. The ones we mainly need to worry about are these that have data and overdue. I'll usually leave this open. So the first thing I want to do is see, I need the data. So I need to find out what sites have the data. So I will, these ones I already know I have, but I'll just show you how you can kind of check where it is and if it's in the system. So so on the right hand side here, you can see we've got this data column. Now this denotes where the results are coming from, and there's usually a few different sources. There's probed, which means the guys use their tablets to get the reads. You can find this data in, let me just move this. So in OneDrive. So usually this data is in OneDrive over here. And you can scroll down to their name and get it out. So for example, if I look at Chelsea Croydon, so New South Wales, so anything New South Wales, well, that Nabil does specifically. So you can look at Nabil. That goes into the New South Wales folder here. And with these ones, you can scroll down to the site. So for example, Chelsea, now this data is, some of them have different names. Chelsea is 3-17 Grosvenor Street. And then you can see in here, you've got two different folders for where the data's come from. So November, for example, these ones were done end of November, so that's not the one. December, these ones were done on the 20th of the 12th, so that's the ones that we need. And what we would do is we take this, Control A, so we're selecting all of it, and we go into the data current folder. All right. Now I want to make sure that this isn't there. I'll explain that in a sec. Take the data in this folder, copy it into our data current folder, and we'll probably get an error. Oh no, I haven't put it in there yet apparently. Cool, so now that's in there. So we've got Chelsea stuff is in this folder. All right, so then that one should be checked off. Now East Village, we'll try East Village. That should be in there. December, that's the same. That's all in here. Copy to the data current. Now destination has 69 files, so I've already copied these over before. So these two, for example, were probed. Another few that were probed, we've got Dandenong, Spencer Street. These ones are done by Alan, I believe. Alan, and Spencer Street is done by Jade. So I'll just have a look at Jade's, for example. Jade's is similar to New South Wales. You have all the sites kind of named. So when you go in, he will manage this folder on his own. He just takes away the old reads and puts in the new ones. He's pretty tech savvy. So he knows how to do that. So all of Jade's are here. So Spencer Street, we'll just go Control A to get all of them. Copy. Make sure it says over here, it says copy to data current. Sometimes it will say move. You need to ensure it says copy. Otherwise, you're just going to take it out of this folder and you might lose it. Okay, so already has 100. So I've already copied these over because it's already in this data current folder. So all of our probe reads from the tablets will go into this data current folder. Now, I believe with pretty much all of these, I've already put the reads in. Now, the only difference, so with the New South Wales stuff, obviously it's by site. With Jade, it's by site. And with Jeremy, it's also categorized by site. With our new other Victorian guys, so John, Alan, and Tanya, they are all by date. So with these ones, what you can do, you'll see them kind of listed, sorted by date usually if you sort it like this, but each one kind of denotes the date anyway. You go into here, and he's got all of his files in here. I'll explain why some are folders and some are the EM billing read data and different file values later. But so what we're going to do for now is just going to copy all of this in. So that's going to go in. Now it's asking, there's already this file. I'll usually just skip it. Anytime you want to skip it, Alan on the second, Control A, copy it in. Skip it. Alan on the 31st. I think I've already got that. Another thing as well, it will kind of automatically sort so that the files, all these, probe read file types are up the top and the folders are down the bottom. When you're copying across, make sure you don't copy it into a folder in the data current folder. You want to copy it into this data current folder because there's other folders in here. So make sure on your data current, you just take it from here and you copy it to data current specifically. All right, so I've already done the 30th. I think the 31st was underneath for some reason. Not sure why they get mixed up. Copy. All right, they're already in there. So we've got all of Alan's stuff in there. Now I'll do Greg, which is Tanya. So Tanya uses Greg's. I haven't changed it. Don't want to mess anything up. All right, that's already done. There. Skip. And Control A and copy all that in there. All right, we've done Greg. Now we need John. Third. Copy it in. Copy it in. 2 files. Now you can always click let me decide and have a look, and usually it's just these little com files. These are fine, you can just ignore these. They're automatically generated by the guys' tablets when you put them in, so you can just skip these And same as this, skip these. John on the 30th. See if that's already in there. Yep, so that's already in there. All right, and I think that's everything. So the main ones you need, oh, and we've got Alan Frost as well. Alan Frost is also by date. He will usually only have 1 or 2 folders in there. He'll do a big dump of everything once he's finished all of the sites. He only has a few sites, so he does High Point Shopping Centre and Willow Park / Marquee. Oh, see, it's already in there, so skip that. Cool. So yeah, the main people that we need to get them from are Alan Cooney, Alan Frost, Greg / Tanya, Jade, Jeremy. With Jeremy's, you want to go in to the zip folder, select all. Again, make sure you're not putting it into one of these folders. So we're just going to scroll up, make sure it's sorted by date modified, and you're at the very top. And I click and drag. I mean, you can right click if you want, copy paste, but either works. Skip these files, they're already in there, so I've already done that. Cool. So, yep, Jeremy, John, and anything in New South Wales. So these New South Wales ones, I know I haven't put them in there. What I'll do is I'll usually just grab this. Now, if you want, you can delete an older one. It's up to you. At some point, you want to just delete the older ones. But you don't have to. You can just keep them there. They'll just sit there. But I'll just delete the older one. Control-O, West Point. Should go in. Marylands. That can go in. Oh. She's crashed. Hold on. Didn't like it. Let's just make sure that West Point is in. Alright, so data current up here. And what are we doing over here? Marylands. Oh, so I'll make sure West Point copied over. Oh, sort by date modified. Go to the top. Press home. Ah, didn't copy over. There we go. Marylands. Control A. Copy all. Skip. Wetherill Park. November, December, January. You can delete November. Take January. And you can always double check the date as well. It's the closest date. So we're going to put this in here. And Parramatta. Oh, no, not November. December. Control all. Copy to current. Okay, so now we should have all of our probe files in there. And what we can even do is we can go down here and we can start marking them off, the ones that we know we have. So for example, we have Parramatta. So in here we have the have raw data column. We know we have Parramatta because it's right over here. Go over to here, check that, and you'll see the color changes from red to aqua. And if I click away, in our have data section in New South Wales, we now have Parramatta. So what I will do is, as I'm putting them in, I will mark them off. So West Point, we got West Point. Hunter we don't have. I think that's Jeremy's. So we're looking at Nabil's stuff. Marylands we have. Wetherill, where's Wetherill? Wetherill Park we have. And I think that's it from this one. Now, so those are the probe files. Sorry, we also have these other ones. So Jade did some. I'm pretty sure he should have some here. Cobden, that's already marked off. Spencer Street marked off. Cotton Mills, so we can, I'll just double check I've got the data, so put that into the folder as well. Nope, got that one. Eden, I think I've got that one already. Yep, already in there. Oh, Cotton Mills. Cotton Mill's only 4 meters. The rest are read using AppSheet, which I'll explain in a minute. And Spencer. Cool, so we already put these in, but we can mark off Cotton Mills as have the data, and the rest I think he hasn't done yet. Yep. So now there are a few others that our other readers have done that are not marked off, and I know that because I kind of keep track with them. So I set out their schedule and I make sure I know what they've done. It's kind of hard to get a sense of it when you're just looking at dates. So you can just give them a call and see what they're up to, make sure that they're up to date with everything. Or you'll kind of know. I mean, you can always track the car or whatever if they've got a company car, but it's probably better just to give them a call so then you know what they've done, how much of it they've done. So for example, I know that John did Craigieburn on the 2nd. He also did Highlands on the 2nd. Alan, I know that he's done Society. Tanya, she's done everything. So I can Control-C, copy that. And I'm going to highlight just to do as a shortcut. I mean, you can do them one at a time, but because I'm very lazy, I like to copy and paste them. And then you tick them all off. Alan's done that, Albert, and John's done YMCA. So now we kind of have a sense of what's left. All right, of the ones that we probe. Now, if we go back over to the right again, and we have a look at our list of data, I can expand that out a little bit. Actually, let's just expand it out all the way and then stretch that out so we've got a good sense of what we're looking at here. So you can see there are some marked AppSheet. So probed, and it's anything with the probe files. M-cubed, that is using a different program but also probing it, which we'll show the process later after we do all these probed ones. Bankstown, all interval data, so do that when we get to it. Same with Sydney Airport. Excel OneDrive. So these ones specifically, we get the data from an Excel spreadsheet that the reader sends us. So you can see how some of them have 2. For example, let's actually go up here and have a look. So Chelsea, for example. So Chelsea, we have probed and Excel. So that means that we're using data from 2 sources. So the probe reads, if we open this up, we go to Chelsea, we go into here. Now that, I don't know why that does that. So when he copies the file over, it just comes up as file. But what you want to do is .xlsx into it. There we go. And it turns into an Excel file, which is fine. So all of these ones, so anything that is an RDG file, actually, I'll give you an example since I was going to discuss what these different file types are. When you probe a meter, you have 2 main file types. It's the EM billing reads and the RDG files. So these are 2 different types of meters, but they will both give you the same data. So if I open this file here, it kind of spits out this, which gives me the meter ID. Then you've got over here, you've got the total read. You've got the peak read. You've got the shoulder read. I believe this is the off peak. And then you've got the shoulder 2. So all of these, if we have a look, they say PB02. You can see it along the top here, PB02. That just denoting that it is a current read. So the read at the time we probed the meter. Then over here, you'll have, to here, you'll have PB1. And what you'll notice is total PB01, total PB02. So PB1 is the end of month read. So the reading value when the clock on the meter turned from, the 31st to the 1st or the 30th to the 1st. It turned over to a new month. And you'll see that this read is much less than this read. And it makes sense because if we look across to the date, read date over here, the 31st at 11:54, or roughly 11:54, so 10:51. This is the read on our tablet, and this is the read on the meter, so they might not match, but that's fine. But the main thing you want to look at is look at the date. So the read was taken on the 31st, on the last day of the month. So over here, the last date, so the 31st of the 12th, that read was taken. This will denote what the read is on the 1st of the 12th, because the read was taken in December. Whereas this is the read on the 31st of December. So we can see that it's 119,513. As soon as the date ticks over to the next day, whatever's here, that will go bang. That is the date. This is our new end of month read for January. Now we don't really need to know that for now, but it will come in handy later when we're doing entering the data into because some companies want the end of month read, others want the read at the time we took the reading. So anyway, so that's a what do you call it, an RDG meter? Don't want to save that. This is an EBR, so it's kind of the same thing, but what it does is when you open it, it generates it in this format, and it creates like a Chrome HTML document when you open it. I'll just ignore that. So this is kind of similar. So it will break it down in a similar way, but not in Excel format. Here we have the current period. So on the date we took the read, so you can see again, 31st, last day of the month we took it. And we have our total down here, so 1825. But then we have all of our different rates. So peak will be rate A, and then off peak will be rate B. And if you add these two up, let's just add these up. So 42531 plus 59294, it will equal 101825. And as you can see, we've got 1825. Now it will reset back to 0 once it clocks over, once it gets to the end. So obviously last time must have been at 99.9. Oh no, not necessarily, but yeah, once it clocks over, it will go back to 0 and start again. So that is accurate. Now again, current read on the current date, just ignore this, but where it says current period, that's the read when the reading when you took the read. And then down here in the box below, this is the last end of month before that. So we've got the 31st of the 12th, so this will be for the 1st of the 12th. Okay. And then we can, with these ones, we can go back even further. So this will be the 1st of the 11th. This will be the 1st of the 10th October. The date at end of month doesn't really make a difference. It might be that it registers it at, the last day, the last minute, the last second of September. Basically, all you need to know is it's end of month. And you can see here how it's, look, back to 99161, and then once it ticks over, it goes back to 54. So yeah, we don't need to worry about that now, but this is kind of an explanation of these two main types of probe reads that we will get. So, as I was saying, sorry, I keep getting distracted. In Chelsea, we have our probe reads, which are our RDG files, and we also have our face reads. So there are some meters that we can't probe. And we can get those in a couple of ways. One way is through an Excel document. So if I open this Excel document, Chelsea specifically, we have electricity and water meters. And you can see here we've got our meter numbers, and then our readings, and then our previous reads back here. So you can ignore this, but basically this is the data that we need to fill in the rest of it. And when we do it, we'll explain, because each one is kind of different when you're using an Excel document. So one way we can get those face reads is the Excel document. The other way is through AppSheet. So we've got a number of these meters where we've got stuff in AppSheet. So if I just make this a little smaller, and I open up our read sheets, in here, in our AppSheet work Airtable, we go down to sites read. This will specifically show all the reads that we have that we have not yet processed. And you can see we've got a pretty long list. Now for some of these, it's the whole site. Some of these, it's just part of it. You know, it could be a mix. But what we can do is we can use this to kind of look at our overdue section and see what we need. So we need DFO Canberra. So we'll have a look through here and we go down to D and we can see we've got DFO Canberra. And looks like we've got the data for it. So I can, oh, not that one, sorry. Go to have raw data, tick that off. 197 Fitzgerald. Yep, I can see that we've got that. Now with 197 Fitzgerald, it's, I think we've got 2 of them are water reads and 1 is electricity. I think the electricity meter is off supply, so we haven't got the read for it, but you can, once you know that he's been there, so you can just mark them both off. Point Cook, he should have done Point Cook, 225 meters. Now, the thing is, when we're doing the app sheet stuff, you might not know exactly if they've gotten all of the reads. You know, it's possible they missed some. You know, how do I know this 225 right here is all of the meters? Because if they haven't put a read into here, into the total, or if they haven't put a skip reason into here, it won't show up on this site's red table. So what you can do, if you want to double check that everything is done, you can go to grid view. This is kind of like our blank slate, so that where you can see everything. I'm going to put our site as Point Cook. So site contains, so that means that, you know, you only need a certain amount of it. I don't need a group by site. Here we go. That should always be there, so don't worry about that. And you can see, oh, there's 227 total meters in here. So we're missing 2. Apparently, we seem to be missing 2 meters from our site's red in total. You can also see it down the bottom here. You've got 227 records. So what we can do is to see, you know, you can go in manually and you can try and go, oh, this one's missing one. Let's go across and see. Oh, no, there's a skip there. So he got that one. What I like to do is I add a condition total is empty. So that will show me anything where the total's empty. And then I'll also put skip reason is empty. And then I can see there's 2 left. Removed. So we've got instructions on here that, expand this a bit. Vacant and vacant off toilet corridor. And we've got instructions in here that these meters are removed. So that's fine. You know, they're probably already marked as removed previously. So we can expand it and have a look at the past details. And, you know, there's no activity. So nothing's been done on it for about a year. Usually there'll be something that shows up on the right-hand side. So we can be pretty sure that he's got all of the reads for Point Cook. So let's go into here. Sanctuary Lakes. I think he would have gotten that one. Oh, he hasn't. So he hasn't got Sanctuary Lakes, which is odd. So I'll have to ask him about that one. Taylor's Hill. Yep, he's got Taylor's Hill. 8. I know there's 8 off the top of my head. Ruby Plaza. He hasn't got that. So we'll probably get that on Monday. DP World. That is probed. That's probed. Southgate Plaza. Now that is sent by Excel spreadsheet over the email from our team in South Australia. So I'll probably send them an email later or Monday morning just asking, hey, what's the ETA? How long until we get it? Albury. Now I believe if I look at my emails, I'm going to bring my emails over here. You can see that Will this morning on a Sunday has graciously sent me the read. So we can open this and can see that this is kind of how he sends Albury Centrepoint. So again, it's a PDF. It's not an Excel file, but again, it does make a difference. The main thing is he sent them. What I will do is I will take that, and I've got a little results folder here in our email group email inbox. So I'll put that into my results folder, and you can kind of see here. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. It's a lot of Will. Nabil will send some. Alan will, Frost will send a high point update every month, just to kind of with the face reads. For Eucalyptus, that's Willow Park / Marquee, High Point Gas, Rochford, Carinyip, that's the Western Australia site, the only Western Australia site we've got. So she'll send the reads, photos of the reads. So again, this is, I think Carinyip is over here. Yeah, I haven't put anything. So what do I add? So I'm putting it as Excel now. We might be moving it to AppSheet soon, but just keep an eye on that one when you're doing it. But yeah, so everything in here is kind of the handwritten or hand sent Excel spreadsheet or PDF results. So I'll recenter point. I can mark off as we've got the data. And I think that's everything. That's everything we've got so far. I've got to follow up with Jeremy about these. So I'll send him an email or shoot him a text and just say, hey mate, when do you think you'll have these? Luckily, start of January, everyone's off. I'm going to send a big dump of results. You can see these are all the ones we have data for. There's 63 in total that we have to work on. So that'll be good to kind of take through. Hopefully there'll be some examples of things I can show you and issues and problems that we might have. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else in this. So anything in here that once it's kind of going to get past date, you can ask for an ETA on from the reader, just to say, hey man, when do you think this is going to be done? And once you've got this list sorted, again, everything should be in your data current folder, and then everything else, so let's just reverse a bit. All of your data will be either in your data current folder here. It will be in your email inbox in the results section, or it will be in your AppSheet data here. Okay, so yeah, we'll start putting them in now. Actually, what we'll do, we'll break the video down into separate videos. So I'll end this video here, and in the next one, we will go through how to process them into our results folder.